This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Good afternoon, it's Friday, May 16, 2025. Mental health is real. Seek help and the stigma on the news this afternoon. Candidates want JAMB scrapped as parents demand exam shift. EFCC arrests 31 internet fraudsters in River State. River CB Ademoju calls for collaborative security effort in Ahoda East. On foreign scene, at least 50 people killed as Israel launches offensive in North Gaza. I'm Ifechukwu Moyeli with the news.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
You're welcome back, and now the news in full. Some JAMB candidates are reacting to the receipt of JAMB slated for today, which was announced by the body. Some of the candidates called on JAMB to be scrapped, while others recounted the difficulty they face in preparing for JAMB.
After reading and staying up late night, plus stress locating your center, plus the stress you pass through on the day of the exam, most centers you have exam by 12 in the afternoon, you end up writing around 2. Like, after going through all this stress, staying up late nights, then one human will just come up from nowhere and be like, there was a technical glitch. We actually know that complications will come up.
This year JAMB, I don't know what to say. It's more, obviously more difficult because I wrote last year. This year, like, I don't even know what to say because the results that came out of 1.9 million people that registered for JAMB and I wrote JAMB, 1.5 failed.
This year JAMB is calm. I think they are buying JAMB, yes, and I'm solidly against JAMB to say they should ban JAMB.
Also, some residents of Port Harcourt say they are displeased with the short time frame issued by JAMB for the reset of the UTME. Some of them, who aired their views on Nigerian 4FM's Morning Crossfire, suggested the scrapping of JAMB.
Who will pay for the transportation to those the students? Because most of them are coming from far. Like some of them, when they go to there is a primary school, social primary school. And this will come out just short period of time. See with that computer, are they repented or they will bring more computers? Now, Brad, the way this people are treating students, children is very bad.
The date they announced for this exam right now is too short. These children are going through trauma. When will they recover from the trauma?
You know that that's got a certificate. If you finish your secondary school, go and apply to any of the universities. They should give you an aptitude test, right? Yeah, and you pass, and then we are admitted. You be admitted into university. They should scrap down totally.
Similarly, an economist, Dr. Tubo Tamono Boma, is calling for JAMB to be scrapped due to the irregularities that characterize the 2025 UTME. In an interview with our correspondent, Boma, a lecturer at the University of Port Harcourt, said tertiary institutions should be allowed to conduct their entrance exams.
Since after JAMB, the universities will still go ahead to carry out their post-UTME and all of that. Why not scrap one and then let it be one? Let every university have the opportunity to advertise and then do their exams. Find a way to admit their students. That's the way it should be. Because students will spend money, write JAMBs, pay transportation here and there, and then they will still come to the university and they'll still pay a little token. What's the need of all of that? The universities should be allowed to conduct their entrance exam. JAMB should be done away with at this point. The truth is, some schools don't even do the post-UTME. They just write the JAMB and they get admissions. And you get the feedback from the classroom. There's nothing to write home about.
However, a professor of African literature, Sam Chinaka, believes that more investment in education and subsidies for the ownership of personal computers will help improve the literacy level of UTME candidates.
The federal government, state government, and all our governments, they have to invest into this technology era. So bring the pieces, educate, and then make it mandatory. It's not just the Android phone. Computer is something everybody should own. So if you want us to get to that level, we must get to the point where acquiring computer should be subsidized. And then you make it available for as many young people as you can. So that when they find themselves in exam atmosphere as JAMB, they will be comfortable.
Professor Chinaka also tasked JAMB to be more thorough in checking the functionality of computer systems in various centers.
The people you want to partner with, the schools that have those computers, have your technicians run through the number of computers they have, confirm that they are in working conditions, ensure that your power is also going to run throughout that particular time the exam will be holding. You don't just go and then the moment money is exchanged and the contract is signed, you just leave the whole thing like that for students to bear the brunt of the mistakes and the equipments that are not working.
Now, parents of the candidates affected by the human error that led to a glitch in the 2025 Unified Tertiary and Matriculation Examination, UTME, are asking for the reset, which begins today, to be rescheduled to June. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, said that all the affected candidates will be contacted to reprint their examination slips to retake their examinations starting today. But some of the parents want the exam postponed, citing the traumatic experiences of the candidate, the ongoing West African Senior School Certificate Examination, and the distance to the exam centers, among other issues. Recall that the JAMB registrar, Professor Isha Koloyede, had announced the reset of the exams in the southeast state and Lagos while admitting errors in the conduct of the 2025 UTME. However, an educationist, Professor Ken Weke, says mobile network providers, not the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, should be held accountable for the technical glitches that disrupted the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME. Professor Weke, a lecturer at the Ignatius Ajuri University of Education, made the remark in an interview with our correspondent Emekotaka while responding to calls for the resignation of JAMB registrar Professor Isha Koloyede over poor candidate performance and irregularities in the exam. Now, he, however, criticized JAMB for releasing results prematurely without a thorough investigation. Weke also called for compensation for affected candidates and urged that the cost of rescheduling their exams be borne by the mobile service providers.
The glitches that were experienced during the exams cannot be blamed on JAMB as an agency of government, saddled with the responsibility of conducting exams for candidates entering universities and other tertiary institutions in the country. Of course, if the JAMB registrar must resign for this problem, then it means that those who are also saddled with the regulatory activities, over the network providers should also resign. The network providers that also failed to do what they are supposed to do should also take responsibility in terms of coming up with apology.
Defending Professor Oloide's leadership, Weke noted that the registrar has demonstrated competence in managing the UTME over the years and should be commended, not blamed, for the recent challenges.
JAMB has done very well over the years within his administration, and that these glitches experienced during this last exam could not have come either because of his negligence as the registrar of JAMB, and that Nigerians must commend him and the leadership of JAMB over time for what it has done. And I think that if other examining bodies like NECO, WAEC can also take a cue from what JAMB is done, in spite of these obvious glitches that cause this problem, I think that Nigeria and the quality of and the candidates entering universities would increase in the country in an appreciable manner.
Well, away from that, operatives of the Port Harcourt Zonal Directorate of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, have arrested 31 suspected internet fraudsters The suspects were arrested at different locations in Port Harcourt. Their arrest followed credible intelligence that linked them to fraudulent internet activities. Items recovered from them include cars, smartphones, smart wristwatches, and laptop computers. The commission said the suspect will be charged to court upon conclusion of investigation. Meanwhile, the Commissioner of Police in Rivers State, Olubenga Adeboju, has asked residents and security agencies to work in synergy with the local government area administrators to ensure the safety of both infrastructure and citizens. CP Adeboju said this while representing the state sole administrator, retired Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas, at a town hall meeting. Security and stakeholders meeting held at the Ahoda East Local Government Area Council headquarters. In a statement, the special advisor on media to the state government, Hector Ibike-Ubo, said the CP also emphasized the strategic importance of Ahoda East as a hub of crude oil and natural gas resources, which must be protected for the benefit of the nation, state, and local communities. CP Adeboju urged community leaders, youth groups, women associations, civil society organizations, and other critical stakeholders to collaborate with the state government in achieving this agenda. In another development, the Senate has constituted a planning committee to organize a high-level summit on national security aimed at addressing Nigeria's growing security challenges. The committee is to be chaired by the Senate leader, Senator Obeyemi Bamidele, while Senator Yahaya Abdullahi is the deputy chairman. The committee is expected to convene the summit and present its report within 2 weeks. The planned summit is expected to bring together key stakeholders in the nation's security architecture to develop a coordinated and sustainable approach to tackling insecurity across the country. Still to come, Rivers among states targeted for NEMA's 2025 flood disaster response. Stay with us.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
You're welcome back, and now the rest of the news. Some Port Harcourt residents are reacting to a recent move by the House of Representatives to make voting compulsory for all eligible Nigerians. Speaking on Nigeria Info FM's Hard Facts, callers described the proposal made by the National Assembly as one that lacks visibility, as there are no realistic measures that could foster its implementation. They also said that the fast-growing case of voter apathy could be reduced if there is assurance from the electioneering committee across all tiers of government that the election process will be fair and credible.
That is impossibility of political nature, which you know. Compulsorily, one must vote on a voting day. What about those in the correction center? What about those in hospital? What about those that are not, let me say, legible? So if they want to give us a bill, let them pass a bill that will look acceptable for the masses.
If you simply make the voting process seamless, you simply made every vote that is cast, you made it to count, you find out that naturally people will be voting. If you also wanted them to vote, build the system such that anybody can vote from anywhere that he is in at any time.
Moving on, the National Emergency Management Agency says it will deploy teams to Rivers and other states in the country to engage directly with communities identified as being at risk of flooding. The Director General of NEMA, Mrs. Zubaida Umar, said this on Thursday at a stakeholders engagement on the 2025 National Preparedness and Response Campaign on Flood Disaster and Related Hazards in Abuja. He said the team will deliver the critical early warning messages and disaster preparedness information at the grassroots level. As you may know, Rivers State is among 11 other states predicted to be within the high-risk areas. Last year, heavy rainfall and the overflow of the Orashi River in Rivers State caused severe flooding in the region, impacting several communities and submerging farms. The Rivers State government also set up a committee headed by the Deputy Professor Ngozi Odu to support victims of flooding. Orashi region comprises the 4 local government areas of Ahoda West, Ahoda East, Aba Odua, and Oba Mandoni local government areas of Rivers State. Now, the general manager of the transmission company of Nigeria, TCN, Port Harcourt region, Emmanuel Abba, has called on youth in Ahoda to take responsibility for protecting power installations and report any suspicious activities of vandalization around tower lines. Abba made this call during a one-day community sensitization program held yesterday in Ibu community, Ahoda River State. He stressed the dangers of vandalism, noting that it not only disrupts electricity supply but also hampers development in the communities.
Our purpose here is to enlighten our people. Let us not damage, let us not spoil the little thing that is meant for us, that is serving us. When I came here July, I met 20 towers collapse along Ahoda in a line. And for about 4 months, the entire Baisa have no light, while others in other parts of the country were enjoying their light. And if there is no electricity, there is no way any community can develop. Please, whatever we can do is safeguard all these infrastructures that is put in our place. That is our own. Let us not damage our infrastructure.
Responding to the general manager's remarks, the vice president of the Ebeye Kingdom, Isaiah Sunday, who represented the president general of Ebeye Youth Worldwide, Justice Ewo, alongside other youth leaders, demanded for the employment of youth into a surveillance team to monitor and report vandalism.
Thank God that you have made it a youth thing. I think the only way forward, sir, is for us to see how we can engage the community leaders, the community youth, and make them get fully involved in protecting these facilities.
Now, we are talking about the sovereign, and that is employment. We people who have been crying since. We don't need much talk. What we need is employment, sovereign for the communities, and we assure you everything will stop.
Employment is the only way you can get this done perfectly. From community to community that owns the land, the families that owns the tower, give them their employment. If you talk about bunkering today, the people that owns these lines have engaged people to secure it.
The general manager of TCN, Abba, spoke again after listening and documenting their demands.
The issue of employment is very critical, and that I will table before those that sent me to Port Harcourt region. We have actually collected these views, and they are very important to us. So we have to escalate it to corporate headquarters. Let them know that these are actually what should be done to avert all this type of incident. I think whatever we're going to submit will be very important, will be helpful in their decision making.
To help matters now, the chairman of the River State Anti-Quackery Committee, Dr. Nwachukwu Vincent, says maternity homes in the state are not allowed to carry out surgeries or be run by auxiliary nurses. It followed the shutdown of several hospitals and maternity homes by the Anti-Quackery Committee for operating without a license and unqualified staff. Speaking to correspondent Martha Okene, Dr. Vincent said private maternity homes must be managed by qualified nurses and midwives, while private hospitals should be run by certified medical doctors.
We don't register maternity homes that are owned by auxiliaries. We register maternity homes that are owned by qualified nurses and midwives. A maternity home is not supposed to do surgery in any way whatsoever because maternity homes are not run by doctors. Then when you also come to private hospitals, a private hospital established by a doctor should know the limit of what they should do. If you don't have the capacity to carry out any type of surgery you want to carry out, you refer to a higher institution.
Dr. Vincent, who also serves as the Director of Medical Services at the River State Ministry of Health, urged pregnant women and other healthcare seekers to always request proof of registration before receiving treatment at any private health facility.
Because you have seen a signpost, hospital, maternity, you just walk in. Oh, do people do antenatal here? Yes. How much? Yeah, they tell you. They don't take time to say, okay, can I see what you have? To be sure that you'll be able to render the kind of service that is required of you. You must try to find out. I hope I am safe here. I hope the Ministry of Health knows that you are operating here. You can probe further. Can I please see this and this? Some people place it boldly in their place, in their facility. They paste the certificate of standard and letter of registration. So as you just enter the reception, you see it. So you will know.
Chairman of the River State Anti-Quackery Committee added that the ministry is working on compiling a comprehensive database of all registered health facilities in the state. In other news, President Bola Tinubu will depart Abuja for Rome, Italy on Saturday at the invitation of Pope Leo XVI. In a statement, Special Advisor to the President on Information Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, announced that President Tinubu will travel with senior Catholic leaders to attend a special mass marking the beginning of Pope Leo XVI's tenure as the 267th Bishop of Rome. According to Onanuga, Cardinal Pietro Parolin sent the invitation from Pope Leo XVI, who said the ceremony reflects a moment of particular importance for the Catholic Church and the world afflicted by many tensions and conflict. The Pope also expressed a personal connection to Nigeria, saying the country is particularly dear to him as he worked in the Apostolic Nunciature in Lagos during the 1980s. And now in business, the Bureau of Public Procurement, BPP, has revised its procurement threshold for ministries, departments and agencies, MDAs, as part of reforms to streamline processes and improve budget execution. In a statement on Thursday, Head of Public Relations at the BPP, Zira Naga, said the review, approved by President Bola Tinubu, responds to rising inflation, shifting market dynamics, and the need to reduce bureaucratic delays in project delivery. Naga said under the new threshold, only contract valued at 5 billion naira and above for goods and consultancy services and 10 billion naira and above for works will require Federal Executive Council FEC approval. In entertainment, U.S. singer Chris Brown has been charged with grievous bodily harm with intent. The Metropolitan Police says the charge relates to an alleged assault which reportedly took place at a nightclub in central London on 19 February 2023. The 36-year-old was arrested at a hotel in Manchester on Thursday. He remains in custody and is due to appear before Manchester Magistrates Court today. In sports, Cristiano Ronaldo has topped the Forbes list of highest paid athletes for the third consecutive year, while NBA star Stephen Curry has moved up to second.
And now we bring you news from around the world.
Hamas-run civil defense agency says at least 50 people have been killed in reported Israeli attacks in northern Gaza. Palestinians in the north say Israel launched a large-scale ground, air, and sea assault in the early hours of Friday morning. The Israeli military is yet to comment. Local residents say the assault came from all sides, with warships, airstrikes, and tanks firing.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Now that's a wrap on the news this afternoon. Before we go, let's have a look at the major stories. Candidates want JAMB scrapped as parents demand exam shift. The EFCC has arrested 31 internet fraudsters in Rivers State. Rivers CP Adeboju has called for collaborative security effort in Ahoda East. On the foreign scene, at least 50 people have been killed as Israel launched another offensive in North Gaza. The news was edited by Martha Okere. To reach the news team, send an SMS on WhatsApp to 0808 721
The Shogun
7215. I'm Ifechukwu Moyeli. Many thanks for listening.
Malanta! Malanta! Malanta!
Oh yes, now that's how a malaria-free community sounds. For me, I got no